6 occasions they failed to get out of the group stage. Just that one time previously they reached that quarter-final back in 1990. Roger Miller was, of course, making a name for himself then and in 1994. He became the oldest scorer at a World Cup final at the age of 42. The fist pumps and the handshakes between both teams take place. Let's run you through the starting 11s for you one more time. So someone starts in goal for the Swiss, of course. Vidma, Akanji, Alvede and Rodriguez make up that back line. Rodriguez, for him, 101st cap today, playing in his 3rd World Cup. Freuler and Granit Xhaka, the 2 central midfielders. And then Shaqiri, Sao and Vargas provide the support to Embolo, who will lead the line. And in decent form he's been as well. 2nd World Cup win as well, but 3 goals in just his 4 qualifying appearances during the build-up to this tournament, of course. As for Cameroon, Onana is the goalkeeper. Again, the only one of any real experience amongst our goalkeeping fraternity. Made his debut back in 2016, the Inter Milan keeper. He's got Tolo, Castelletto and Kolu and Faye across the back, with Pue, Ankisa and Ongla in midfield. And I think many supporters of Fulham will wonder where Ankisa's form has come from, but it's been quite terrific so far this season for Napoli. 3 goals for them already. Of course, he was previously with Marseille and cost Fulham £22 million, but actually ended up getting relegated twice. Embremo, Toko Ekambi and Choupo-Moting will lead the line for Cameroon today. The man in charge is Facundo Tello, one of 2 Argentinian officials at this World Cup. I think the headlines last month showed 10 red cards in the game between Racing and Boca. It's his 1st ever World Cup. Let's hope he's not so handy today. As I say, it is just around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is shining, the temperature is warm, the air conditioning is definitely on. And this could be a real tactical battle, Courtney.
There's a lot to think about, and I think both teams are very, very good going forward. There's a lot of attacking talent on show. I think Switzerland, I would say, were a bit more determined and condensed at the back, so won't leak as many goals, but I think it makes for a very interesting time.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. And can you understand the way players just, if you were a Stoke City fan and you watched Choupo-Moting, you probably were perplexed when he ended up at PSG. But now you're watching him banging in the goals for Bayern Munich and going, well, where has this player come from? He couldn't do it on a wet, windy night in Stoke, but he's all well and good doing it in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, but for myself and experience as a player, there's some teams that you go into where, for whatever reason, it just clicks, and equally there's the other side of that where, for different reasons, you don't feel at home, the environment isn't great, you're not training well, and then you're not playing well. So, yeah, it seems strange from the outside, but I do get it.
The countdown's on then to kick off. It's going to be Switzerland who get us underway. They're in their all red strip, kicking from left to right in the opening 45 minutes, and it is that traditional green shirts and shorts for Cameroon with the yellow socks as well, and the yellow trim as well on the shirts and the shorts too. And we're off and running then. Final day of the first round of group games, the final 8 teams into the fray today here in Qatar 2022, trying to secure their place in the knockout stages, of course, which seem to come fairly quickly on the back end of next week. So we've got another intense few days of games coming. Day 5 here at the World Cup. Plenty of drama so far. Maybe it's the start of another day right now as Vidma goes forward down this right-hand side for Switzerland. He's slipped the ball into the wide area where it's picked up this time by Sao, who looked to try and get the ball off Nuhu and behind for a corner, which he does. And inside the first 60 seconds, an opportunity here for Switzerland.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that a lot from Switzerland in terms of the third man run, the deep run from midfield to try and dislodge and disrupt that Cameroon defence.
So, of course, the right track Frankfurt performing well for them this season. Here's that man Shaqiri, flicked on at the near post, edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away. In fact, it was almost hacked away by Ongla. And down that right-hand side, Cameroon will try and pick up possession again, which they do, deep inside their own half, and it's pushed out wide to that right-hand side. And they'll just hold position in and around the edge of their own penalty area. And Gieser back to the keeper, who again was under pressure and had to clear in a hurry. They picked it up on halfway though, trying to drive forward once more, but Switzerland gather possession. It's been a scrappy opening couple of minutes here, but Switzerland do have it. midway inside their own half, and the ball picked up and held nicely on this occasion towards the edge of their own penalty area by Elvedi. They'll push to the right hand side where Akanji will look to come forward. Has probably appeared more than we all thought he would for Manchester City this season, but 12 appearances already and he's made a decent impact.
Yeah, he's made a very good start, and as you say, maybe not as expected to see him as frequently as he had, but I think he's performed very well in that Manchester City side.
Onana with a clearance again, up towards halfway, but comfortably swept up again, and Akanji will have possession midway inside his own half, wearing that number 5 shirt, 44th cap today for Manuel Akanji. Rigobert Song, the head coach, is looking rather natty in his blazer, but also his cap today, and those wonderful dreadlocks as well. It's certainly an interesting get-up. But, he always was fairly fashionable, if I remember, from his days in the Premier League too.
Yeah, he's definitely looking very dapper on the side in his technical box, isn't he?
Shaqiri just gets the ball in field where it's gathered by Freuler, who's made a good start to life at Nottingham Forest, and he's ever dependable in that workman role in this Swiss midfield. Out wide on that left-hand side, looking to chip a ball forward down that far touchline was Ricardo Rodriguez, who got his 100th cap against the Czech Republic recently. He's at Torino now, of course. Played all but one of the World Cup qualifiers for Switzerland, ever dependable. And in the middle of the park, down the right-hand side, they find Shaqiri, who once more on his left foot tries to deliver the ball in. It was Mbolo that put it out wide to him, and it's picked up on this near side by Wimbar again. Infield to Elvedi, helped on its way by Freuler again. Granit Xhaka's lurking in a slightly advanced position midway inside the Cameroon half, but instead they go back to halfway, and Akanji will look to come forward again. Switzerland seeing plenty of the ball here. Not too much of a high press coming on from Cameroon, but it's a poor pass and an interception down this left-hand side. Gives them a chance to maybe try and bring the ball forward. Toko Ekambi, but they've given possession away once more. And at this moment in time, Switzerland seeing plenty of the ball court.
Yeah, seeing plenty of the ball, but as we're looking at it now, Cameroon very compact, almost playing in a 4-1-4-1 out of possession. You see what they're trying to do in terms of soak that up and work on the counter-attack, but the couple of times they have won it back, just not been composed enough in possession to connect passes.
Kanji gets it forward again to Mbolo towards the edge of the penalty area, out wide on this right-hand side to Shaqiri. Sliding challenge was a forceful one on that occasion, coming in from Tolo. Throwing goes Sheffield United. Sheffield United. That's huge from Sheffield United. Are you in your Swiss top today as well? With your red and white on?
It wasn't intentional.
Oh, was it not? We're supposed to be neutral.
Yeah, there's no bias here.
Courtney through the curve, of course, from Sheffield United, former Liverpool, and another 23 international as well alongside me today. Shaqiri's ball into the box at the edge of the 6-yard area. It's an attempted clearance, but it was really hacked at on that occasion by Castelletto, and it safely ends up in the arms of Onana. And they don't look too comfortable in and around their own area at times, Cameroon.
No, they don't, and this is where Switzerland have really got to take advantage of this, particularly early on in the game, where there's going to be a few nerves flying about, and obviously with the first game for them as a World Cup. But I think for me, I'm just looking, and Choupo-Moting is out there by himself. It's going to be a very long day for him, so they've got to be a lot better in possessions, try and get the danger, then especially that front three into the game, Cameroon. There's a long ball forward there from Onana trying to find Toko Ekambi, but straight into touch down that far side. It'll be a throw-in for Switzerland. Vidma with it. 5.5 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Throw down this near touchline is headed away quite comfortably in the end by Nkuru. Free kick's been given though for a challenge midway inside the Swiss half, and an opportunity here for Cameroon from a set piece. And there's an awful lot of discussion around A, who's taking it, and B, what the plan is. Yeah, and I think, look, for Cameroon today, it's going to be very important that they take advantage of these set pieces, take the time to set it up, to make sure that the delivery in is of good quality, because it's going to be a massive opportunity for them to get on the score sheet.
And Keisler was the one who was orchestrating the conversation. Brian Mbeumo is going to deliver. As we said, only became eligible to play, or announced he wanted to play in August. He's made 3 appearances already, and he's over the top of his free kick, but as is Ekambi as well. And it's Mbeumo's ball in, it's comfortably headed away at the edge of the penalty area. Not the best of deliveries. They'll go for a second ball into the penalty area, but the offside flag was up, and it's going to be a free kick for Switzerland inside their own area, which they'll look to take fairly quickly.
Yeah, and you want to see what Switzerland are doing in terms of they want to get the ball down quickly, and especially with Cameroon, if you give them a chance to set in that defensive shape, that 4-1-4-1, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be difficult to break down, so Switzerland needs to try and move the ball quickly forward. Let's try and find them pockets when Cameroon are out of shape.
Trying to get forward down this left-hand side with Ricardo Rodriguez. He's putting the pressure on Anguissa, who again goes all the way back to find the edge of the penalty area with Castelletto that was there. And now down that left-hand side and come forward again. But each time their movements are fairly stilted and not really able to get out of that penalty area so far. A bit of hunting down by the Swiss right at the edge of the penalty area. And they'll pick it up again with a long clearance going inside the centre circle. Once more, possession is with Switzerland. It's just controlled, and an opportunity here to spend a bit more time on the ball for Castelletto, and then forward they come down that right-hand side again, and once more Nuhu Tolo is forced into action. Vidmar this time will take the throw, never with the edge of the 6-yard area down this near touchline. Gives it short to Shaqiri. Shaqiri forced just back on this near touchline. And the effort being applied here and the pressure being applied by Switzerland as they just try and find a way through. Out wide on that left-hand side, Xhaka getting himself into the play. Maybe the first time he's actually touched the ball in this game, Granit Xhaka. The only ball that gets loaded in is cleared away comfortably. It's kept alive this time by Rodriguez. No, it wasn't the assistant says it's out of play, and it'll be a throw-in on that far side for Cameroon. 8.5 minutes played then on TalkSport 2, and it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0.
I think Switzerland have definitely started the better of the two sides. They're very calm and composed in possession, but they'll want to make sure that as they keep going forward, they get something meaningful going in the final third, because as much as they've had possession so far, they've not really created anything of note as yet.
First of 4 live games for you today across the TalkSport network. Of course, 1 o'clock today, Uruguay against South Korea in Group H. That's followed by Portugal against Ghana, also of course in Group H. And then the other 2 teams in this group, Group G, Brazil against Serbia, they get underway at 7 o'clock this evening. And then a huge day tomorrow on Friday at the World Cup with both Wales and England in action. In this time slot tomorrow morning, actually, Wales against Iran in Group B is underway. And then tomorrow evening, of course, England against the USA. A couple of games sandwiched in between those involving the Netherlands, Qatar, Senegal and Ecuador. Here they come now. Left-footed shot driven by Embremo, and it's well safe. Follow-up is over the bar! And it's a lazy effort that he should have done better with Denikambi. What an opportunity that was to give Cameroon the lead. And it was just a long ball out from the back that took them all by surprise. And as we've seen time and time again in the Premier League, the pace of Brian Embremo, the keeper beat it away in the follow-up. Well, he should have got it on target.
Yeah, it should have been on target. I think he's just getting a bit too excited. It's early in the game. Probably sees his name in lights and can be there. But I think Embremo as well. I think initially he takes the shot on. He can probably square that earlier to Choupo-Moting.
Well, first opportunity of the game really goes the way of Cameroon, who have been under the cosh in terms of possession for long periods of the opening 10 minutes here. But now that just seems to have given them a little bit of life. And Anguissa picks it up in the middle of the park for Cameroon and looks out wide to this left-hand side as they try to come forward again with Tolo. Infield he'll go once more, and he'll pick up a Cambi. Nice switch of play now to the right-hand side, and over halfway just holding the ball up and just having a moment of possession here, Cameroon, as they just try and find their way into this game. They've coped with the opening exchange as well.
Yeah, and I think this is probably what they've planned in terms of, look, they know at times that they're going to have to sit in and soak up the pressure, but then going forward on the counter, they know they're dangerous.
Plenty of pace. That's going to be a free kick, surely. The referee says no, play on. Just over halfway, like a foul on a Cambi to me, but Switzerland in the meantime will go forward, and they'll come to the edge of the penalty area and just about to unleash a volley that time. I think it was going to be Vargas who was going to have the goal, or Sau actually, from the edge of the penalty area. He's got possession now. He finds Xhaka with that left foot of his. Well, it was a strange angle to try a shot from, really. He was almost forcing out towards the corner flag as he hit it from about 25 yards, and it's well over the bar.
Yeah, it just seems a strange decision. We know he's got the ability to strike a ball very well, but I think maybe there's a bit of frustration showing from him in these early stages.
11 and a half minutes played. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0 on TalkSport 2. Wall-to-wall coverage, of course, of the World Cup across the TalkSport network. Some FA Cup action for you this weekend as well. That competition gets into the second round. And a reminder, when the Premier League is back, Boxing Day, 26th, 27th, 28th, across those 3 days, all 10 Premier League fixtures are live and exclusive on TalkSport. So make sure you get yourself the app wherever you're up to, as it's Christmas time, or you're shopping, visiting family, wherever it may be. Maybe trying to work off some of those Christmas Day pounds in the gym. Make sure you've got the app and your headphones, and keep it TalkSport across those 3 days for all that Premier League coverage. Long way to go before we reach that, though. Lovely ball across the edge of the 6-yard box there. That was driven in low and hard that time by Vargas. No one on the end of it, though. Switzerland will keep possession here. Shaqiri at the edge of the penalty area, slips that one through. Oh, it's a really good tackle on Mbolo. Shoulder to shoulder. The offside flag was up anyway.
Yeah, but it's good play there from Switzerland, moving the ball quickly. We know that Shaqiri has a fantastic ability here, thread the eye of the needle, but rightly so. It is called offside just in the nick of time.
Looked like a good tackle that from Castelletto, just held his strength there, didn't he?
Yeah, I do think so. In terms of if he was offside there, I think it's a very fair challenge, just going shoulder to shoulder, and he was just the stronger of the two.
I mentioned Mbolo earlier, so he's in good goal scoring form, 60th cap for him tonight. 11 goals for his country so far, the Monaco forward. Scored against Lithuania and Bulgaria in qualification for the competition. Played in 4 games in the 2018 World Cup. Of course, they lost by a goal to 0 against Sweden back in Russia. Interestingly enough, in their qualifying group for that competition were Brazil and Serbia as well, so don't seem to be able to escape them at the moment. They've got a good draw against Brazil actually in qualification last time round. As we say, they do tend to bring it on. That's a lovely bit of play here, and away goes Choupo-Moting inside the penalty area, chance to finish. Well, he does with his left foot. I think there was enough done then defensively just to get an arm on his shoulder. The save was made anyway, and the whistle's gone from the referee. Someone made the save, but well, it was good work to get there ahead of Akanji by Choupo-Moting.
Yeah, it was great work initially, but then Akanji is very clever. He doesn't give it up in terms of sprinting back to try and get something on that, and he does for Choupo-Moting. Just puts him off balance so he can't get good purchase on the shot.
It was a really good piece of attacking play. Akanji did recover well. He needed to, and just did enough in the end to put him off. 14 and a half minutes played here, and a couple of scares here for Switzerland from this Cameroon side. You talked about that pace. It's certainly evident, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's, like I say, how Cameroon are trying to play, sitting in, then go on the counter-attack. Shaqiri
tries to clip a ball in, takes a deflection out for another corner down this right-hand side, which Shaqiri will take. What a player Xherdan Shaqiri has been throughout his career.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially for Switzerland. I think 48% of goals is been involved in directly in the last 4 major tournaments for Switzerland, so you can just tell how important he is to the side.
Second most capped player, of course. Valon Berami, the other one to appear at 4 World Cups. And Shaqiri is this time round, 4 goals in this is his 10th appearance today. Shaqiri swings that one over. Delivery from his 2 corners, though, have not been the best so far. On each occasion, failed to get beyond the front post. It's given Cameroon a chance to clear, but it's back with Shaqiri again now on the angle of the penalty area on the right-hand side. Gives that one short, and it's picked up that time by Vargas. Vargas into Shaqiri again, but they've lost possession at the edge of the area, and Cameroon again looking to break down this left-hand side. And it's picked up this time by Ekambi. Looks to come in field, which he does really nicely. Choupo-Moting is taking it in his stride towards the edge of the penalty area, but at that point he's dispossessed. And it's brought clear once more for Switzerland. In fact, they're going to go all the way back to Jan Sommer in goal. His 3rd World Cup as well. Very experienced Swiss side as we reach the 16-minute mark on TalkSport 2. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0.
It's been an interesting start, hasn't it? It was the first 5 or so minutes quite pedestrian, and Switzerland having most of the possession, but Cameroon have certainly grown into the game and had a couple of very good chances.
Here comes Vargas down the left-hand side, looking to try and drive forward. Rodriguez provides support. Vargas a little more direct this time, all along the ground towards, I think he was trying to find Sao there at the edge of the penalty area, but intercepted for Cameroon, and they'll bring it clear up towards halfway. A little shove in the back that time on Brian Mbeumo is trying to hold possession nicely. They have the ball back on that far touchline though, Cameroon. Forced back inside towards the edge of their own penalty area. Though good pressing from Switzerland, and it's pumped forward up towards Choupo-Moting, who's just inside the Switzerland half, but he can do nothing on that occasion. And the Swiss will gather possession once more and will come forward down that left-hand side. Certainly dominating possession in the game so far. 50% of it for Switzerland. Of course, new stats we're getting this time round in this World Cup. There's contested possession, so it's 51% at the moment to Switzerland, 36 to Cameroon. And if I do my maths, that means there's 13% contested somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Good math. I'm glad you did that, because maths is not my strong point.
I'm not too sure what it all means, but I think it means Switzerland have had a bit more of the ball, really, is what it boils down to. Here's, on that left-hand side, Gomez, so Rodriguez, should I say, gives the ball infield. Pressure there on Embolo, but he's done well just to hold his man off and keep possession of the ball, and he finds Freuler down this right-hand side for Switzerland. He's got nowhere to go, really. He's harried and hassled, and he's forced back to halfway, where waiting for him is Akanji. Freuler once more, and then into Xhaka in the middle of the park at the edge of the centre circle. Left-footed ball swung out to that left-hand side to find Ricardo Rodriguez, who was on the overlap. Gets it inside the penalty area to Vargas, who gets the touch back to Rodriguez again, who will now deliver. Left-footed ball across, not the best. Comes out to Freuler, then to Xhaka again, who clips one in again towards the back post, where the run had been made on this near side of the field that time by Vidma. But it's out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Cameroon with 18 minutes played on TalkSport 2. It's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0.
Xhaka, you can see, is slightly frustrated with himself there, but it's definitely the right idea, just trying to swing that ball into the back post, and it's the late run from Vidma. He couldn't have left any earlier, unless he would have been offside.
Murat Yakin is the man in charge, of course, of Switzerland. You may remember his brother, Hakan, who got 87 caps. It was quite a surprising choice for the coach back in August 2021, of course, after that defeat in the Euros when they were knocked out, and he's staying until the end of Euro 2024, it appears. They have won their last 3 competitive matches, all in the Nations League, against the Czech Republic, Spain and Portugal. Just to give an example of their quality, they've been on a wretched run prior to that. And I know we kind of, I won't say we mock the Nations League, there are certainly question marks about it. They've stayed in the top tier ever since it started. They're fairly consistent in that respect.
Yeah, and I think that is, what Switzerland are about in terms of that consistency. They're quite pragmatic, but they do have that quality going forward. And as you say, it's not everyone's cup of tea, is it, the Nations League, but they've competed so well in that competition.
I think us here in England quite liked it that first season, but we seem to have gone off it since then.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it?
No surprise. He comes forward down this left-hand side, Akambi. He's 10 yards inside the Swiss half. He got this ball in his feet, and he finds Anguissa. Gone for some transfer fees, has Anguissa. As we mentioned, twice relegated with Fulham from the Premier League, but certainly doing the business now, and many Fulham fans probably wouldn't recognise him. Now he's delivering at Napoli, of course, who are leading the way in Serie A in Italy so far this season. As we reach the 20-minute mark in this game, without a goal so far. There's been a few of those 0-0 so far in the opening exchanges. It's always very cagey, these opening matches, and Sommer's put under a bit of pressure there by the charge that was made down that right-hand side by Mbeumo. He's just managed to get it away though, and Rodriguez will come over halfway on that left-hand side for Switzerland, and the free kick is given, and it will be taken just inside the Cameroon half.
Again, Switzerland just trying to move the ball quickly. They're not interested in trying to set up the set piece and just on the halfway line and get a long ball in. They want to move this ball quickly on 1 and 2 touches and just try and keep possession as much as possible.
A bit of manhandling there from Nohu Tolo on Zerdan Shaqiri, who will take the free kick himself. Just a short one to Akanji. Cameroon have reset, and now Switzerland will go a little more direct into the central area where they find Granit Xhaka, who's 10 yards outside the penalty area. Rodriguez now on that far side finds Vargas. Vargas' early ball in to the penalty area is easily hacked away this time from inside the box by Gué. And it's up towards halfway, but Switzerland will gather possession just inside their own half, and an opportunity to get forward again. They topped Group C, of course, in qualifying. Managed to get the better of Italy and stop them qualifying unbeaten as well with Switzerland. Very impressive performance in terms of getting into these group stages of this World Cup. How much further they can go, we shall see. Good opening first 22 minutes, although Cameroon have probably had the best chances.
Yeah, I think Switzerland have definitely had the better of possession, but in the final third have just lacked a bit of quality, whereas conversely Cameroon having less possession, but when they've got into that final third, they've made the Switzerland keeper work. They've looked very dangerous on the counter-attack as well.
Cameroon looking to build from the back on that far side, the right-hand side. I don't know if it was helpful that Samuel Eto'o, when he met with the players after they beat Algeria in that playoff game to reach this World Cup, he basically said we're coming to Qatar to win, which is a bold statement, but when you're Samuel Eto'o and you're in Cameroon, anything you say is taken as gospel, and I think there's been a bit of a ground swelling after that. So actually we can win this competition. Why would we not believe Samuel Eto'o?
Well, exactly, he's a legend, isn't he? So, you know, what he says goes in those parts. But I think, look, Cameroon have got to come to the competition believing that they, you know, can win the games, can get out of the group, and then after that anything can happen.
Samuel Eto'o has been fairly instrumental in a lot of these players who have the potential of playing either for France or Cameroon, actually choosing to don the green of the Indomitable Lions. And here they come again. Anguissa to the right hand side. Here's Brian Mbeumo cutting in onto that left foot of his edge of the penalty, finds himself some room, still going past two, gives it back to Anguissa inside the penalty area. Here's Akambi on his right foot, he's closed down by two, just slips it outside into Tolo, who delivers the cross, and it's deflected behind for a corner.
Just a shame for Mbeumo there. You can see he's just trying to fashion half a yard to get his shot off. I think it was just a little bit of a heavy touch, is then why he had to pass the ball on. But again, Cameroon looking fantastic on the counter-attack, and they're so direct going forward. They find feet and find passes so quickly and so well.
Look at that pace they've got. It's one pass, isn't it? And they're able to open them up.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose that's a little bit of the difference with Switzerland. They're more pragmatic, try and play it forward through the third, whereas Cameroon, they know what they're good at, and they stick to it very well.
I don't like drawing comparisons, but we did see this with Argentina the other day. That lack of pace in that forward line and the ability from the opposition to expose, it can pay dividends. Here's the corner down this left-hand side. Brian Mbeumo will deliver towards the back post. It evades everyone. He's going to get pumped back into the penalty area though. Right-footed, swung towards the back post, and again it's a final touch this time from Freuler, I think, to bring it out. Vargas is there, and an opportunity for Switzerland to clear from the edge of their own penalty area, and they pop it into Cameroon territory. It's going to be comfortably swept up at the back on that left-hand side by Collins Fight, and it's back with Onana, and we play 24 and a half minutes on TalkSport 2. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, and the thoughts of Courtney Swedenfeld.
Yeah, I'm enjoying watching this game actually. It is very open. It's a little bit like a game of chess. It's very, very contrasting styles from either side, but I think for me, Cameroon are the team that, if I was to say who deserved to be in front with the quality of the chances created, I think Cameroon would be the ones that I fancy to be in front.
Mbeumo just got those run blocks down that right hand side. It was clever defending that time from Nico Elvede, who just stepped across him at the right moment to avoid Mbeumo putting on the afterburners, and he could have been away down that right hand side for Cameroon. Instead, Switzerland have possession just inside the Cameroon half, and on halfway, Granit Xhaka will pick it up once more and come forward for the side ranked 15th in the latest FIFA rankings, although as we've seen in the last couple of days, courtesy of Japan and Saudi Arabia, those FIFA rankings don't count for much when you arrive in Qatar with a really good game plan, and that is what Cameroon seem to have today. Here's Akambi away down this left-hand side, inside the penalty area, trying to work it onto his right foot, goes back across, and they do hold possession this time, and it's Hongla who just tees it up down that right-hand side. The driven shot from Collins Fry comes in, and well, it was a little bit adventurous. Maybe a pass out to Brian Mbeumo, who was further on the right, may have been the more sensible option, but he's had the effort, and it goes wide for a goal kick. Yeah,
he's a wry smile on his face there. He knows it's probably not the right decision, but again, brilliant from Cameroon going forward, and especially Choupo-Moting in that little phase there. The balls, it's drilled into his head, but he does so well to drop the ball off to midfield, and then they work forward from that.
Been very impressive so far, and I mean, people say, what is it you love about the World Cup? And it's when you see these styles that, you know, these teams don't meet. They don't tend to meet too often in friendlies, and if they do, it is just that. It's a friendly, isn't it? When they come toe-to-toe with the different styles and the applications, it's what's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and they're both trying to work each other out, and like we spoke briefly before the game, look, there's all the analysis that you can do in the world, but I think playing these games against the nations, that's when you really get to know a side. So it's, as you say, when they don't play together so frequently, it's a really interesting watch.
I did wonder as well yesterday, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but obviously usually before a major tournament like this you would have 3 weeks probably together as a group. Is that impacting the likes of the Argentina, and Germany in terms of not quite starting matches and starting the tournament in the manner they would like?
Yeah, very potentially. I suppose when you consistently making major tournaments as those bigger sides of bigger nations are, in inverted commas, they're used to a certain way of preparing. So yes, they'll have the 3 weeks before, and they'll have a certain way of doing things. So maybe when that's changed and sort of that preparation is thrown out the window, it maybe evens the playing field a little bit.
Well, we've certainly seen some terrific performances from Saudi Arabia and Japan yesterday, of course. I think normality was restored when Spain took on Costa Rica, and you will always get those mixed, but it also helps put that England result into context. And a reminder, England against the USA is live on TalkSport tomorrow night. Tomorrow, actually, the second round of group games gets underway, of course, starting with Wales tomorrow morning against Iran. That's live on TalkSport. The build-up starts from 9 o'clock. Of course, Dean Saunders will be alongside Nigel Adderley for that one tomorrow morning here on TalkSport. A terrific Friday at the Qatar World Cup lies ahead. Pretty decent Thursday as well with the arrival of Portugal and Brazil. We will see Cristiano Ronaldo later, maybe doing some talking on the pitch for a change rather than talking to Piers Morgan. Foul on that far side on Vargas. He's got the ball and his leg, so it's going to be a free kick here for Switzerland.
Yeah, that's the problem. Initially he does get the ball, but then on his follow through just clips the standing foot.
Now, I do enjoy it when people plead, but I got the ball. Yeah, you can't really do it at the same time as taking the man to them. Here they come, Switzerland down that left-hand side. Rodriguez with the ball in. It's cleared away quite comfortably around the penalty spot for Cameroon. Choupo-Moting's done brilliantly there to lay that off to Anguissa, who gets him into his stride, and then on this left-hand side he'll give it to and a chance for Toko Ekambi to come forward again, but just does well to keep the ball that time and find it back in field to Ongla, who switches play to the right-hand side, and forward again comes Faye, and now it's Brian Mbeumo into the feet of Choupo-Moting. Lovely layoff, and Mbeumo into the edge of the penalty area, going to get the shot across goal, and it's tiled away by Sommer, and no real power on that from Martin Ongla, and in the end Vidmir has to clear, but it was Sommer who made the save, but he put it in the right area across the keeper, but just no power.
Yeah, he did, and I think it's Akambi's probably not gambled enough as he should do, but fantastic play between Mbeumo and Choupo-Moting, a lovely little 1-2 in there, and again for me, Cameroon, could argue probably should or could be 1-0 up at this moment in time.
They certainly had the better of the action in and around the penalty areas, that's for sure. Now I've got a corner down that left-hand side, and Mbeumo again has gone across to deliver on that left foot of his. Akambi's there too. They're in the shadows, but they'll be knocking this into the sunny part of the stadium as left-footed, and Mbeumo does swing it across. It's a good header out by Granit Xhaka this time. Shaqiri though puts it back into the danger zone here for Cameroon, and it's drilled across the edge of the 6-yard box that time, low and hard by Castelletto, and it will go out of play on that far side for a throw to Cameroon around halfway. Desperate defending at times from the Swiss.
Yeah, and I think they're struggling with definitely the pace going forward, but it's the movement as well, because we saw it in that movement. It's Hongla who's running deep from midfield as Choupo-Moting and Mbeumo have dropped in, and they're really struggling to track the runners, Switzerland.
You do get the feeling just from the opening 4 days of the competition. Obviously it's day 5 today. Pace, I mean we've always known it in football. Pace is something that you can't buy always. Choupo-Moting now down this left hand side. They come again with Tolo, but we've seen time and time again, whether it was the pace that Canada were offering last night at times in what was an unfortunate result against Belgium, or the pace we saw from Japan and from Saudi Arabia and the like. Pace is so crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, it's something you can't buy. You can train and change that, but I think to a degree you've either got it or you've not. So especially with Cameroon, they're clever with how they play as well. So then when you add the pace to that, it's very difficult to be able to track, and when it's all through the side as well, like Cameroon have got, it does cause difficulties for teams.
Yeah, certainly unsettles teams quite easily, doesn't it? Guerre did well there. And a nice fellow holding the ball inside Swiss territory here. And Mbeumo with a little layoff to Anguissa. Here's a Camby once more, out wide to this left-hand side. Tolo onto his right foot. He'll go back though to Ikambi. He just sizes up his options and goes to the edge of the centre circle, where the ball's picked up by Samuel Gué, who again will push it in and forward down this right-hand side, where an early cross comes in this time, looking to try and find Mbeumo, who made the run inside the penalty area. Didn't come to him. Rodriguez will get it clear. Knocked down by Mbola, who we've not really seen him around the penalty area so far for Switzerland in this game, as we reach the 32-minute mark. Here they come now. An opportunity here with a little bit of space to run into, you'd feel, down this right-hand side. Sal gets it to Vargas. Outside him on this right-hand side. The cross comes across the edge of the 6-yard box by Vidma, and it's cleared away. And now they look to counter here, but he couldn't quite keep the ball in. Ikambi on this near side, and that's going to be out for a throw-in. But first decent cross over that 6-yard box.
Yeah, a lot better from Switzerland there, because I think, all the balls that they have put in, it's not got past the first defending man, so the fact that then they can run that ball across the 6-yard box, it just then takes someone to absolutely throw themselves at that ball to try and put it in the back of the net.
4 efforts on goals so far for Cameroon, 2 of those on target, and certainly that possession's improving as this first half is continuing, and it goes on. Seeing more with the ball, creating the better opportunities. Rigobert Song certainly the happier of the two coaches after 33 minutes. Remains 0-0 on TalkSport 2, and it's back at the feet of Jan Sommer, Borussia Mönchengladbach keeper, of course. Third World Cup for him at the age of 33 years of age. Here's Mbolo towards the edge of the penalty area. On that left-hand side, he's closed down and is forced to give it back to Shaqiri, who swaps sides on his left foot, pings the ball high across the 6-yard box, but out of play. What will be a goal kick to Cameroon.
Again, it's another poor ball from Switzerland from wide areas. I think there's a bit of frustration now building within that Switzerland side.
Welcoming the listeners to Talk Sport, where after 33 minutes it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0 here at the Al Janoub Stadium in Al Wakri, and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is alongside me, and it's been a half that really has been dominated by Cameroon in terms of opportunities. 4 shots on goal, a couple of them on target, but very much unsettling the Swiss with their pace. Yeah,
definitely, and been very impressed with Choupo-Moting and Mbeumo, their movement and connection between each other.
And they're in again down this right-hand side. Here's Collins Fire, getting it across the edge of the 6-yard box, when arriving is Ikambi, and in the end it's a really good challenge, and it needed to be, from Vidma, who manages to do enough to deny him a clear goal-scoring opportunity at the edge of that 6-yard box. Shaqiri's then fouled as Switzerland look to come again, but this really has been the story opening 34 minutes, isn't it? The Cameroon on the front foot, and the Swiss really struggling to deal with it.
Yeah, and Vidma there, it really is a goal-saving tackle. It's unbelievable, and if he doesn't get the ball, he gives away a penalty. The timing is absolutely phenomenal, but yes, Cameroon going forward have been brilliant. They've connected passes so quickly, used that pace to get in behind, and shown far more quality, in my opinion, in the final third than Switzerland have.
28 places between these two in the FIFA World Rankings, but so far in the opening 35 minutes of this game, it's Cameroon who've looked the better side, and they're unlucky not to be in front. 10 minutes to go to half-time. It's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, and the game continues live on TalkSport 2. Picked up down the right by Vargas. Vargas then looking to cut in on the run towards the edge of the penalty area. Trying to help it on its way that time at the edge of the box was Freuler, but he was beaten to it by Anguissa. And Anguissa's gone away down that right-hand side. There's plenty of pace, and the charge was coming from Collins Fye, who may be penalised here with a yellow card, and he has been. I think his desperation to get there and win that ball, and he's getting the first booking of the game from our referee Facundo Dello.
Yeah, it was one of those, wasn't it? You could see it coming a mile off, and he's just so keen to actually try and win the ball, but at the point where you're not going to win it, you've just got to slow yourself down. But again, Cameroon looking good in terms of when they've won the ball back. Their first thought is, can we get forward? Can we get in the danger area and put Switzerland under pressure?
Into the last 10 minutes of the first half here on TalkSport 2. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Remind as well, we've got all of the World Cup action for you, of course. I must tell you about the end of the Autumn Nations series, the rugby. We've got the finale to that coming this weekend as well on TalkSport 2. England, of course, taking on South Africa as part of that, so we'll have that for you throughout the weekend. Remember, Wales will be looking to bounce back from their shock defeat to Georgia as well, as they take on Australia and all those games Saturday. TalkSport 2, your home of the Autumn Nation Series, and 2 great finales to what's been another wonderful campaign. I enjoyed listening to the New Zealand game last weekend, particularly that finale as well. It was quite terrific coverage with Andrew McKenna and the team. Here comes Anguissa then. We're into the last 8 minutes or so of the first half in this opening game from Group G of the World Cup. A reminder, the other 2 teams, Brazil and Serbia, they'll go head-to-head tonight, 7 o'clock live on TalkSport. And then in between that, we've got Group H this afternoon. An introduction of Portugal, of course, and they take on Ghana at 4 o'clock, and it's Uruguay against South Korea at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Ball down the left-hand side is a decent one to find Tolo towards the edge of the penalty area. 2 or 3 green shirts there in support. Ends up going back, and he finds Ongla, who had a really good chance actually to put Cameroon ahead in this game. Now down that right-hand side, looking to find Mbremo, who's surely fouled there. There was a pull back, the referee's just waved it away.
Yeah, right in front of the linesman as well. I don't know how that's not a foul. He's controlled the ball very well. He's got his body in the way, and then he was just pulled back by the Switzerland defender.
Well, the best of decisions from referee Tello, and Anguissa is telling him so. There's no doubt about that. They just go and stand alongside him. Anguissa is such a towering figure in that Cameroon midfield. Out wide on that left-hand side, here's Rodriguez for Switzerland. 7 minutes remaining. So they try and advance into Cameroon territory once more. And it's in the middle of the park with Freuler, who chips the ball towards the penalty area. Granit Xhaka had made the run, but just over the top of his head and behind for what will be a goal kick to Cameroon away to our right-hand side. 6.5 minutes remaining then in the first half. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is alongside me. You said it earlier, it's been a really entertaining game to watch, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and I think that just last little play again by Switzerland probably sums up their day. They do, you know, all the hard work in terms of keeping possession, and then just at that final moment when you're looking for a bit of quality, it's lacking at the moment. And I think, you know, Cameroon have been brilliant going forward. I think probably thing that only worries me is for the chances they've had, they should probably at least be 1-0 up. So, you know, it's that old adage in football, isn't it? If you don't take your chances, will you get punished?
And they get punished here, you never know. Sal gets it into Mbolo in the penalty area, goes down, but it's a really good challenge. He won the ball. Really good piece of defending. Jean-Charles Castelletto timed his tackle brilliantly on Mbolo, who just been lacking a bit of confidence in Mbolo when he's getting into those positions.
Yeah, I think going forward he's probably had one more touch than he needs there. I think if he takes his touch in, he gets across initially. If he takes that shot off, then gives him a better chance, but that extra touch just gives Castelletto the opportunity to get back in and make the challenge.
Vargas with a corner on the left-hand side for Switzerland. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. It remains 0-0. Right-footed, swings it to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's a free header in the end for Nico Elvede. He had to stoop for it though, so not really able to get it on target. Got the power, but couldn't quite get it on towards the goal.
Yeah, and I think he's being defended quite well. Look, sometimes if you can't win the ball, then you've got to make sure that you put the player under pressure, and that's what happened to Elvede there. But again, probably be a little bit disappointed.
Didn't really come at a decent height for him, did it? Because he was kind of stooping, but not too far. There was no way he could have jumped to make that easier.
Yes, it was one of those, wasn't it? It was almost like his hip, so it's a very strange angle.
Last 5 minutes of the first half, plus time to be added on, of course, which haven't been any injuries, so it shouldn't be too bad at the end of this first half. 0-0, a really entertaining game in Al Wakra, as forward it comes towards Joffa Moting, who doesn't quite win the header. It's taken down by Anguissa though, inside the centre circle. And once more they'll look to come forward on the right with Koué. He does well. He manages to find Ongla. And now down that right-hand touchline, Collins Fry gets it away. And Bremo's made a good run and towards the edge of the box. Joffa Moting at the edge of the penalty. Takes a touch, gets the shot away, deflected. It's blocked in the end by Elvede. And it's another corner on the right-hand side to Cameroon.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate how it fell for Choupo-Moting there. It was a little bit behind him, so he couldn't hit it first time. He takes a touch in front to try and steady himself, but it's a good block from Elvede, isn't it?
Certainly got plenty of power behind it, the 33-year-old. And it's going to be another corner then, right-hand side, and Bremo to deliver this one. Just for a moment. Choupo-Moting is in that 6-yard box. He'll probably be one of the targets here. Mbeumo swings that to the edge of that box. It's headed away by Mbolo, who's back defending. The Swiss really backing numbers to try and clear it. And now it's with Tolo, just teasing and trying to get away from Sao, but he gets it back as far as it can be. He finds the run of Anguissa towards the corner flag. Keeps the ball in. Once more he finds Tolo, who just teases, and here's Anguissa again as they try and work, and each of them doing a step over that kind of gets them nowhere in the end. Akambi has it, and they'll just keep possession in the centre circle. Gué to the right hand side. Fai gets back from Mbeumo. Left-footed ball from Fai this time towards the edge of the penalty area. Well taken down. It was a clever spotted run by Ongla, but he just gives it away, trying to set up Mbeumo down that far touchline, and Switzerland will clear. Not very far though, only as far as the centre circle. And Anguissa controls it on his chest, then flips it over his head inside the penalty area. The chase was on, and it was being led by Nicolas Nkolo, but it's well gathered that time by Jan Sommer, and we're into the last 2.5 minutes at 0 now.
Yeah, I think that ball from Anguissa, the initial touch got away from him a little bit, and I think it was more just more by luck than judgment, a little hook over the top, but Cameroon again nearly profited from it because they're on the front foot and they're ready for the second phase.
And they're in possession again inside the centre circle. Very lacklustre from Switzerland so far, that's for sure. They did suffer defeat against Ghana last week in their final warm-up game by 2-0. A rare defeat for them. But again, you don't want to lose games heading into these competitions. Those sides who were playing this week tended to find themselves a friendly from when they got together, and something's not worked out for them, and they do look lacklustre here at Switzerland, that's for sure. They've got possession now, 2 minutes to go to half time. Kanji will just turn and looks to knock it down this right hand side where Vidmer is there, and he's probably been one of the better players in the opening 45 minutes from Switzerland. But it's back again with Onana away to our right hand side, all in a rather natty purple outfit, the Cameroon goalkeeper today. A few of these Cameroon players, about 3 or 4 years between caps. And Ringabert Song has reinvigorated them and brought them back into the fold. And certainly Onana is a driving force at the back for them, as we mentioned earlier. It's cap number 34, most of any of the goalkeepers involved. He's 26 years of age right now. Played all the games in the African Cup of Nations. They finished third in that competition. Undisputed number 1 for that. Here's Anguissa, midway inside the Swiss half, as Cameroon come forward again. Down this left-hand side, it can be. We'll just give that one back once more to Tolo. And there's Nkolo. Infield he goes once more. I'm just happy to keep the ball here with Castelletto in the final 30 seconds of this first half. Got the best of balls forward by Nicolas Nkolo. And it's picked up on that far side though by Fai, and he'll lift it forward towards Mbeumo. Choupo-Moting will try and close it down at the edge of the penalty area, but it's hacked clear for Switzerland up towards halfway. And again Cameroon will have possession again while we wait to see how many minutes. There's 2 minutes of added time coming at the end of this first half. That's better from Granit Xhaka. So Mbola. Here's Sao towards the edge of the penalty area. Xhaka's in space to the left. Shaqiri has it though on the right hand side. Vidmer has made the run towards that back post towards Granit Xhaka, and Mbolo goes up for the header, and it's, well, almost in slow motion. It's hacked clear and hacked behind in the end by Gué for a corner.
Yeah, and I don't know whether Xhaka did give his teammate a call there, but I think he would have been better served there, because over the top of Mbolo he can't get that much contact on it or meaningful anyway, whereas Xhaka's coming onto that ball and he can get more purchase on that.
Here comes a third corner for Switzerland, left hand side, so it'll be taken by Vargas, Ruben Vargas from Wolfsburg, of course. He's going to swing this one in. There's 4-5 red shirts inside the penalty area, and he picks out Akanji, who gets a flick on it, but he can't get it on target.
Yeah, it was very close. It's a really good ball in. It's got all the pace on it, so all Akanji needs to do there is just get a good forehead contact on it, but it just slides across his head. Too much of a flick on it, whereas if he gets a good contact and that's on target, it's more than likely a goal.
Well, he's trying to guide that into the corner, isn't he? And in the end just doesn't quite get enough of it. A few cowbells doing the rounds around the Al Janoub Stadium. It's always one of the wonderful sounds you get when Switzerland are in town. Kanji knows, should have done better. Best opportunity probably for Switzerland in this half. Last 30 seconds then of the opening 45 minutes here on TalkSport 2, where it remains 0-0. And it's away by Onana. Header won by Vidma again. Job promoting does well, has turned his man and now running at them towards the edge of the penalty area. Still has the ball and Geese is there in support. He's closed down quickly. And there's a foul and it will be a free kick for Cameroon, about 35 yards out from goal. Left-hand side of the penalty area.
It's a wonderful opportunity. I would imagine it's this free kick and then the whistle will go in it. If Cameroon were to score, then it would be unbelievable for them, but no more than they deserve in this first half.
Well, they needed two players to look after Anguissa on that occasion. Nuhu Tolo and Brian Mbuemo are the two players over this free kick. Some of the delivery from set pieces has not been the best so far. Let's see what Cameroon can do this time round. They already had 5 efforts on goal in this opening 45 minutes, 2 of which were on target. Sommer had to make the save. And Mbuemo just waiting a moment. There's 2 in the wall. And this time it's going to be left for Ikambi, who's going to swing it in, and he just bounces. Nobody really making that run across the 6-yard box, and it comfortably lands in the arms of Jan Sommer. And our referee Facundo Tello says that's enough. An entertaining opening 45 minutes that you feel Cameroon certainly had the best of, although that opportunity for a Kanji right at the end of the half could have given Switzerland a surprise lead that probably wasn't deserved. Cameroon with the better of it in the opening exchanges. Jan Sommer certainly the busier of the two keepers. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is with me to assess the situation at half-time, and obviously Rigobert Song and his Cameroon side will probably be a little frustrated that they're not in front. So it's Sommer in goal for Switzerland, Vidma, Kanji, Elvede and Rodriguez across the back, Freuler and Xhaka in midfield, Shaqiri, Sao and Vargas providing the support to Mbolo. And then as for the Cameroon side, it's Onana in goal, Tolo, Castelletto and Kulu and Faye, who was booked in the first half, the only yellow card in the game so far, Kure, Anguissa and Hongola in midfield, Hongra should I say, and Mbuemo, Ikambi and Choupo-Moting leading the line for Cameroon as we get back underway then at the start of this second period. And the ball at the feet of Andre Onana away to our left hand side, and he's going to go for a long ball forward because Switzerland aren't closing him down at all. He's got all the time in the world to get play restarted away to our left hand side, and immediately Vargas with a full touch, and it's out of play for a throw down this right hand side for Cameroon. And immediately Brian Mbuemo is going to leave that for Collins Fair, who will take the throw level with the edge of the penalty area. Down the right hand touchline he goes, looking to try and find Mbuemo, who holds the ball by the corner flag, and then that's run out of play for what will be a goal kick. Good defending that time by Vargas and Rodriguez, and Switzerland will get a chance to clear their lines away to our right hand side.
Yeah, but it's a positive start again from Cameroon in the first minute. They've found themselves inside the Switzerland final third, and a poor touch as well. I think it was from Vargas, wasn't it? So maybe a little bit of nerves around this Switzerland side.
Well, it's no surprise really that Switzerland didn't score in the opening 45 minutes. They haven't actually scored in the first half of their opening game of the World Cup since back in 1994 against the USA. So maybe this was to be expected. They always take a little bit of time to try and find their feet. They'll need to do it in the second 45 minutes because I think Cameroon are ready to try and pounce. There's no doubt about that. They have lost their last 2 opening games just by a goal to nil, Cameroon, so they'll be wary of that. I think, I wonder as a coach and as a team, if you enter it and go, look, the most important thing in these opening games is you don't lose. That's the crux of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially within this group stage, confidence is a massive thing. So if you can start with whether it be a win or a draw, as long as it's not a loss, because I think then you're always under pressure, you're looking at what the other teams are doing. So yeah, that old adage, isn't it, if you can't win, don't lose.
Yeah, very much so. I expect Argentina were devastated with the defeat, but then the fact the other game in the group ended as a draw, it's simple. We just win our 2 games and we go through. It's you don't want that dependency though. Best to look after things yourself, as they say. Sao gets it across field to Akanji inside the centre circle. Away to the right hand side, they look to build once more with Vidma back in field again to this left hand side, and it's with Elvedi at the edge of the centre circle, and they've got pressure on them as they try and get the ball away. And now it's given short to Xhaka. Xhaka infield he goes, slip to the right hand side to Freuler. Shaqiri gets it across the face of goal, and Bolo for Switzerland. And Bolo the goal scorer, 2.5 minutes into the second half. And we did say it, the Swiss dominated in the opening 45 minutes by Cameroon, but Mbolo with a finish. Good work by Shaqiri. They opened up the Cameroon defence and they've taken full advantage 2 minutes into the second half. Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0.
It's the first real move of quality, and Shaqiri again directly involved in that. It's good 1-2 touch play from Switzerland. Managed to switch the play from the left hand side to the right. Initially from Shaqiri, when he just puts that across on one touch, it looks so simple, and then the finish from Mbolo is good as well. But this is where you see from Switzerland, when they play it quickly off 1 and 2 touch, the quality they have and how simple it can be. But Cameroon will be devastated the fact that they're not 1-0 or at least 2-0 up already in this game, and going 1-0 behind so early in this first half.
It's the 12th international goal for Breel Mbolo. 25 years of age, of course. As we mentioned, he made appearances in 2018 at the World Cup, 4 of them in total, and he's off and running this time round for Switzerland. Breel Mbolo on target. Whatever was said at half-time by Murat Yakin has paid dividends already. How can Cameroon respond, though? That's the big question. And Gisa has gone down. It's going to be a free kick for Cameroon out on this right-hand touchline. And Mbolo, his first goal at the World Cup, and one he will treasure. Simplest of finishes as well, just outside that 6-yard area. Poor defending from Cameroon on that occasion.
Yeah, it was poor. I think what they got caught out by the fact that Shaqiri put that ball across first time. For the first half they were taking too many touches, whereas they've dropped back too early there, Cameroon, and it's a simple goal.
And Bremo with his left foot swings that one towards the back post. It's kept alive, and then Sommer will punch it away, and it's prevented from going out for a corner well that time by Vidma, and it will be a throw on that far side for Cameroon, about 25 yards from goal on that far touchline. Just the first attempt on target now for Switzerland in this game, and it's paid dividends for them. Leading here by a goal to 0. Bolo the goal scorer. And it's that goal that separates these two sides. What have Cameroon got in response? And Gisa gets it inside the penalty area. Moting chases that one down. Trying to come forward on that left-hand side was Anguissa again. He's some discomfort. The referee not happy. And the complaints are continuing for the challenge on Anguissa. And it will be a free kick for Switzerland. Here's Rodriguez down this left-hand side. He finds Vargas, who's striding into some open space down this near touchline. He tries to get a little 1-2, and that's a challenge on Granit Xhaka, which again the referee waves away. He's down in some discomfort near the edge of the box there, Granit Xhaka, but no foul according to the referee.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a really late challenge to me. We'll see it back. There's I wouldn't say a stamp, but there's the studs on the top of Xhaka's foot there. He's played the ball again really well round the corner, and it's just very late, and the referee was so close to it. I don't know how he's not blown up for that.
Yeah, Castelletto, the player involved, and certainly that was the issue that time round, that was for sure. And Granit Xhaka is down and in some discomfort. The Swiss fans are very happy. No great surprise there. Leading here by a goal to 0, courtesy of Breel Mbolo. And we are, 6.5 minutes into the second half here on TalkSport 2. The referee still not happy. Xhaka's up and about, but he's still complaining. It will be a throw into Switzerland when we eventually get going again. Granit Xhaka still arguing the point with Facundo Tello. Not the kind of man I'd argue with, I don't think, too much. He has a capacity to brand a card or two, that's for sure. Akanji with a long ball over the top this time, and Bolo is trying to chase for the confidence after his first goal, but it's easily gathered this time by Onana. They'll bolt it out wide to that left-hand side, and an opportunity now to come forward for Cameroon. Over halfway, and it's into the feet of Tolo. He in the end is going all the way back to inside his own half. A little charge now and an opportunity to deliver it wide on that left-hand side by Ikambi. Ikambi finds Tolo again. Back in field to Anguissa inside the centre circle. Down the right-hand side, there's a little bit of room here for Collins to work in. To Mbremo, it goes down, it's fouled. It's going to be a free kick for Cameroon, midway inside the Switzerland half.
Yeah, and I like Cameroon's attitude. They've not let that goal deter them. They're trying to still go forward and find the equaliser, but actually that may work in Switzerland's favour, because the more that Cameroon flood bodies forward, it'll open up the gaps for Switzerland to mount the attack.
7.5 minutes gone in the second half, almost 8 minutes in fact. It remains 1-0 to Switzerland. Going to be delivered out wide on this right-hand side by Brian Mbremo. Everyone back for the Swiss to try and defend this situation, leading by a goal to nil. Left-footed, the ball swung in and gathered comfortably that time by Sommer. And immediately all in blue, he thinks about bowling out, but I think he's going to take a moment here. Although Akanji then says, no, just give it to me, and looks to come forward from the edge of the penalty area. The delivery from set pieces hasn't been the best, has it?
No, I think from corners it's been better for Cameroon, but from free kicks, the deliveries have been poor. And as I said, the start of the first half, it's a big opportunity for them to try and get shots on target, so that definitely need to improve if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, it certainly feels like when you see them, there's almost an initial discussion on the first free kick of the day was what's our plans, really, and it doesn't look to be one. There's too many that have just easily found their way through to the keeper with no one challenging for the ball. So they trail here by goal to nil to Cameroon, and here's Shaqiri looking to try and slip that through to Vargas. Important interception that time was made by Nkolu, who did really well to get his foot to it. Comes out to Shaqiri again on this left-hand side, swings an early ball in. It's headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Then we picked up by Sau, and then once more by Vidmer on that left-hand side, or right-hand side should I say. He gives it short once more, infield to Freuler. Here's Xhaka, who's got over his little knock that he took a few moments ago, and Switzerland will have it back inside their own half. And in fact they'll go all the way back to Sommer, who comes out the edge of his penalty area, and Elvede, and now it's more work for Xhaka to do outside the edge of the centre circle. To the right-hand side where Akanji comes forward over halfway. Little layoff to Granit Xhaka inside the centre circle. He then finds the diminutive figure of Xherdan Shaqiri. Xhaka again picks it up here at the edge of the centre circle. Him and Freuler exchanged passes. Now it's Akanji down that right-hand side. The run had been made, and there's a chance to pick him up maybe here. Vedmer on that far side. Good challenge. Sliding in. Good work that time by Tolo. Concedes the throw on that far side, but certainly the Swiss seem to have just upped the tempo a little bit here.
Yeah, and the movement in front of the ball is a lot better as well. Going forward in the first half, it was so static and all the run seems to be in straight lines, but now it's definitely more dynamic, and they're causing that Cameroon defence more of a problem with their movement.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Switzerland leading here by a goal to nil on Talk Sport 2. A reminder coming up from 1 o'clock over on Talk Sport. Uruguay against South Korea as Group H gets underway. Portugal against Ghana follows that at 4 o'clock today, and then at 7 o'clock this evening the favourites enter the tournament. Final game of this first set of group matches, Brazil against Serbia from Group G. This group is live tonight from 7 o'clock on Talk Sport with our wall-to-wall coverage of this Qatar World Cup. Striding through the centre circle is Xhaka. He finds Vargas, but it's picked up again by Cameroon, and those three holding midfielders doing the work they're needed of. Tolo down that left-hand side. He picks out Cambi's trying to cut infield, but just loses possession, doesn't he? No, he keeps hold of it eventually and finds Guet on halfway. And now an opportunity down this right-hand side for Honga into the feet of Choupo-Moting, lays it off to Brian Mbremo. Choupo-Moting inside the penalty area, right-hand edge, looks up, but there's no one there to receive it. He's still going though. Choupo-Moting does brilliantly, and in the end Sommer has to block it at the near post and put it behind for a corner.
He does so well there, doesn't he? He looks like he's got absolutely nowhere to go, but keeps going, especially at that near post. He skips past one, and somehow he manages to get it on target and force a save from Sommer at a very acute angle.
I think he looked up initially and thought, well, there's no one there, so the only option is to go, but he's got such quick feet, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and there was no one there because it was a foul and Bueno on the edge of the box, and referee rightly so plays the advantage, but for Choupo-Moting he had no one in there, so he had to do it all himself.
Here's the corner down the right-hand side, so it's going to be delivered left-footed by Brian Mbremo. The referee just having a word. Obviously seen a fair few penalties already this World Cup for holding and tugging inside the penalty area. The referee just ensuring everyone's aware he's watching. And Bremo does swing that across. Sommer gets her punch on it to get it away, headed back into the danger zone, but the keeper will gather at the edge of his penalty area on the right hand side and will immediately look to set Switzerland away. And Bolo on halfway. It's a 3-on-3 counter hit, and Bolo just slips it through inside the penalty area. Vargas is there, Xhaka is waiting on this near side, but the cross was awful, and the flag's gone up anyway. Wouldn't have counted had it been on target, but still the delivery was so poor.
Yeah, it won't stop Xhaka from having a go at his teammate there, Vargas, and rightly so. It's very poor. All he needs to do is steady himself and fire that across the box, and as I say, it would have been offside, but better from Switzerland in terms of going forward, being dynamic and being direct.
Collins Fry just chips the ball forward over the top, trying to find the run that's been made by Akambi, and it's dealt with on this occasion by Sylvain Vidmer again. Throwing on that far side though for Cameroon. Just dropped short. And Gisa wants it in the middle. Not sure he's going to get it, as it's chipped a little further out and down this right hand side where it's gathered up by Castelletto. And now it goes forward through Hongla with a little bit of help that time from Fai. And then infield once more to Bremo. And Bremo just turning infield, and left footed tries to ping a ball out to that far touchline but can't find him. And now an opportunity down this left hand side to set Vargas away again, but the pass was poor for Switzerland again from the middle of the park that time, and it's out of play for what will be a throw on this near touchline for Cameroon, about 15-20 yards inside their own half. We're approaching the hour mark, 59 on the clock at the moment. Switzerland leading Cameroon by a goal to nil.
Yeah, and you see now that there are those gaps opening up for Switzerland even more so, because Cameroon, they know they've got to be more adventurous. They're trying to find that equaliser, but Switzerland, if they can find that final pass, they'll be getting in. But again, it's just that final lack of quality. Aside from the goal that we've seen early on in this second half, there's just been a lack of quality going forward.
The thoughts of Courtney Sweetman-Kirk that's alongside me. She's putting all this hard work in alongside her training for Sheffield United, of course, as that ball swung into the penalty area and cleared away by Rodriguez, and then headed away by Anguissa, but comes down and is picked up by the goal scorer Embolo, and he loses out then to Anguissa again. He'll push it to this near touchline where Brian Mbeumo's there again, and he'll go on the run. It'll flick off from Anguissa. It's quite red and didn't quite go according to plan for the two of them, and in the end they'll keep possession, but it's a little bit ragged at this moment in time from Cameroon.
Yeah, you can see that they're desperate to try and get back into this game, and it's just sometimes when you're almost that desperate to try and get into the game that you lose a little bit of composure, which you feel like they're doing now. Choupo-Moting,
edge of the penalty area, onto his right foot, looks about getting the shot away, and then gives it to Anguissa, and Bremo's outside him on this right hand side, but he just delays, and it just gives Switzerland a chance to get themselves organised and back into shape, as Collins Fay will just deliver a ball in. And now Shaqiri will try and break down that right hand side for Switzerland. He's on the charge here. Xherdan Shaqiri inside to Granit Xhaka. Xhaka's 35 yards from goal. He finds Vargas. There's 5 in this attack from Switzerland, and it's again Xhaka at the edge of the penalty area. On to Shaqiri on that left foot of his. Slips a reverse ball into the penalty area. Sal's there, tries to find Embolo, and it'll be cleared away quite comfortably. So many red shirts, but they just couldn't quite pick the right pass, as Choupo-Moting does brilliantly. And now a chance maybe to try and get forward here for Hongla towards the edge of the penalty area. Needs some support, but he's the only one that's there in a green shirt for Cameroon.
Yeah, he does so well initially, Hongla, but because Cameroon players have got so back to try and thwart the Switzerland counter-attack, there's absolutely no one with him.
Towards Bremo, who's just held off on that occasion rather well that time by Elvedi. Now an opportunity for Rodriguez. Long ball over the top. Chase is on here for Embolo towards the edge of the penalty area. Checks his run. Goes back inside to Vargas. Vargas inside the penalty area again, and that's going to be out for a corner.
Yeah, I think he was lucky almost there, Vargas, to get the corner, because I think he's probably the one that's been the most poor in that final third for Switzerland. I think he's made the wrong decision there. He needs to go back inside rather than trying to run it on the outside after Embolo did so well to keep possession of the ball.
Certainly been the weaker of the front three, that's for sure. There's no doubt about that. And again, it's all about decision making, and Granit Xhaka living, because he was in a really good position in the middle of the penalty area.
Yeah, that's twice as annoyed Granit Xhaka. I probably wouldn't do it 3 times.
Here's Vargas then to deliver the corner on this left-hand side for Switzerland. There's plenty of support there as right-footed. He swings that to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a good header away that time from Nicolas Nkulu, and it's out for a throw on this near side for Cameroon. They're defending again. We've had 17 minutes, nearly 18 minutes of the second half. Switzerland leading by a goal to 0. Courtesy of Mbolo, 3 minutes into this second half, and it's Switzerland with a throw down this near touchline.
I think Switzerland just need to take more advantage of when they go forward on the counter-attack, especially because there's a couple of times where they've outnumbered Cameroon initially, but because they've again not moved the ball quick enough in that final third, gives Cameroon time to get numbers behind the ball, and they do recover so well.
A reminder tomorrow, Friday at the World Cup, Wales against Iran gets us underway from Group B at 10 in the morning. Then we're into Group A for Qatar against Senegal and the Netherlands against Ecuador, and then we finish the day 7 o'clock in the evening, England against the USA from Group B. Yellow cards out from the referee, and this time that's gone to Nico Elvedi for the challenge on Choupo-Moting, and it's a little pull of the shirt. It's no great surprise that a yellow card has been branded on that occasion. They're still finding it difficult to handle the number 13 for Cameroon.
Yeah, he's obviously such a dynamic player, but he's also got fantastic technical ability, and all that front three for Cameroon have got great quality, so no wonder that the Swiss are struggling to deal with them at times.
10 goals in his last 9 appearances for Bayern Munich. We are potentially going to see a change for Cameroon coming shortly. Gael Ondua, I think, is the player that's preparing to come on from Hanover. He's made his debut actually in the playoff against Algeria. What a time to make your debut for your country, that's for sure. He needs to help turn this one round. Switzerland leading here by a goal to 0 on TalkSport 2 as we almost reach the 20-minute mark in this second half. Taken down short by Mbolo. And it's forward he goes. And there's another foul, this time on Camby, is it, I think, who's gone down, and it's going to be a free kick for Cameroon midway inside the Swiss half.
Yeah, normally it's a good position for a free kick, but actually in terms of what we've seen from Cameroon already, they've been really poor actually from free kicks, and the deliveries in the box have left a lot to be desired.
So it is the 27-year-old Gael Ondua that's going to be coming on in a moment or two. That's what you do get with Cameroon at a World Cup is plenty of colour. Obviously the national flag with the yellow and the red and the green very much being replicated. A lot of the supporters who've braided and coloured their hair in a similar fashion. Here's Mbremer to swing that one in, and Gisa with a header, but it's straight into the arms of Jan Sommer.
First real free kick of quality there from Cameroon, and Gisa does well. He manages to time his run right, but the problem is with that he's quite far out. He gets a really good contact, but he's probably 12 yards out maybe when he makes the contact. It has to be really good to beat the keeper from there.
Counter-attack is on here for Switzerland. That one's pulled back, and Vargas forces the really good save from Andre Onana, and it's a good stop as well to his left-hand side. Vargas, as we mentioned, the poorer of the Switzerland attacking players, but on this occasion he got his shot away on target from around the penalty spot, and it's a really good save.
It's a really good counter-attack from Switzerland. It's a fantastic stop, but Vargas, what I like about it is his run. He starts quite wide, he comes in just at the last minute, gets a good contact, but the keeper there are more than equal to it.
So Vidmer again doing the hard work down that right-hand side for Switzerland. We mentioned before half-time he's been one of the more impressive players, and that continues. Shaqiri swings that edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, how was that not gone in? Well, I think Mbolo got close to it, and Gisa's the one who's put it over the top of the bar of his own goal. That was a wonderfully wicked ball in from Xherdan Shaqiri, and how on earth that's not gone in the back of the net as an own goal, I do not know.
No idea. And Mbolo, his eyes lit up. Onana, he was stuck to the spot there. There was no chance if that was on target it was being saved, but somehow goes out for another corner.
About an inch over from the boot of Anguissa, the left boot that was outstretched on that occasion. Here's Vargas to deliver yet another corner for Switzerland, now 7th for the game, and there's a foul inside the penalty area on Mbremer, and it will be a free kick and a chance for Cameroon to clear. We're at the midway point of the second half here on TalkSport 2 in our first game of 4 today in your wall-to-wall coverage of the World Cup across the TalkSport network, and it's Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0. Out on this right-hand side, and a chance to come forward for Collins Fires, and already been very impressive, but he's fouled there by Vargas, an unnecessary challenge really, that gives Cameroon a free kick midway inside their own half. And although Switzerland are having the better opportunities now, we're still seeing those glimpses from Cameroon that tell you this game's far from over.
Yeah, with 1-0 it's always a very precarious scoreline, and as you say, we know that Cameroon have got that quality going forward, so I would imagine that Switzerland will, they'd want that second goal just to solidify their lead at this moment.
Here's the change, and it's going to see the introduction, as we mentioned, of Gaël Ondua from Hanover. As I say, he made his debut in the playoffs against Algeria. He had a thigh injury that when he was substituted in the game against South Korea back in September, so it's only his 5th appearance today in a Cameroon shirt, but he's on into that midfield just to try and provide a fresh bit of impetus, and he's come on to replace Martin Honga. That's the change that's been made by Rigobert Song, the first of the game, as Cameroon try and find a way back in, trailing here by a goal to nil. It's going to be a throw 5 or 6 yards from the corner flag down this right hand side for Cameroon. It's going to be taken this time by Collins Fire, again another one who's been impressive so far in this game. He's picked up the only yellow card. It's his 53rd cap today. He's just found Mbeumo, and again on this near touchline it's gathered by Castelletto. He'll go back inside his own half to Nkolu. And here's Onana. He's way outside his goal. He's right by the centre circle as he lifts that one forward with his left foot. Bit more direct this time, towards the edge of the penalty area. And Gisa goes to win it, and does. And Mbeumo then just feeds it out to this right-hand side. Collins Fayers on the charge, gives it back again to Mbeumo off the angle of the penalty area on this right-hand touchline. Just gets the ball in field, but to nobody. I think he was hoping that Choupo-Moting may well have come short to collect that. He didn't, and it gives Switzerland a chance to break. And Bolo forward to the right hand side he goes. Broiler's there, and here's Shaqiri charging towards that Cameroon penalty area off the angle of the box on his left foot, slips it wide. Vidmer's there, tries to get the cross away, and it'll be a corner for Switzerland on the right hand side.
Vidmer again down that right hand side, making the overlap when Shaqiri comes inside, and for me I think he's probably been Switzerland's best player. He's done well when he's defending. He's offered that attacking threat going forward as well.
Right as well, if all these football matches aren't enough for you, plenty of very good podcasts around where you get your podcast from, featuring some World Cup content, of course. H&J Back Home is one of those, and you can catch up with episode 1 and 2 now as Jim White and Simon Jordan got their Qatar journey off to a start. That's available from your usual podcast provider as well. Speaking to the likes of the PSG president Nasser El Khalifi and Argentine legend Gabriel Batistuta. Actually, was quite amusing, I think, on Tuesday. Batistuta had just made the claim that Argentina were ready to win the World Cup. Jim posted that picture about 10 minutes before they lost the game, I think, in the end. Or certainly before Saudi Arabia scored. But Batistuta fully confident that Argentina will come flying back for sure. Been a quiet game for Djibril Sow. He's coming off here for Switzerland in the first of what looks like will be 3 changes here for this Swiss side. So Sow is off, and he's being replaced by number 20, I think. Although the numbers are a tad confusing in the fact that they're all going to get held up one by one, but Fabian Frey has definitely come on, and Bolo has departed as well. And we've got Seferovic and Okafor also entering the fray here. So 3 changes in total for the Swiss side, and Bolo, So, and the third substitution, Shaqiri, the other player that's gone off for Switzerland. So ringing the changes, and they lead by a goal to nil with 18 minutes remaining. Down that right hand side, looking to poke a ball up the line, but puts it straight into touch. Cameroon have the throw on halfway, and we've got 18 minutes to go. 1-0 to Switzerland. A couple more changes coming for Cameroon here as well. No doubt about that. The officials, I think we're going to see Kevin Nkudu make an entrance. One of those who had the opportunity to play for France, or potentially for Cameroon as well. He's certainly been briefed down below, as Cameroon look to try and find a goal to get something out of this game. They trail, courtesy of A goal from Mbolo for Switzerland 3 minutes into this second half. Onana gets it forward to the centre circle. Easily picked up by the Cambi. One opportunity for Fire on this near side to go short to Mbrema, and Gisa looks towards the edge of the penalty area, waits for the run to come, and it does eventually come, but the corner's been given, despite the fact that laying on the floor is Nico Elvede, who clearly thought and believed that he was fouled, but Gael Ondua has won his side the corner, having just come on as a substitute.
Yeah, does really well there. The run from deep, it affects that Switzerland defence, and they don't pick him up on the way. He's lucky that the shot was deflected in the end.
Going to be taken. Going to get the changes first, though, potentially here. And Choupo-Moting is one of the players who's disappearing. The referee's just flagging up. You need to do something with the armband as well. They seem to have abandoned the going off at the nearest available point, and everyone seems to be going off towards halfway. It seems to me.
Old habits die hard, but I think Choupo-Moting is unlucky there. I think he's not had much in the second half to go from, but I think that's more been about the delivery into him. I thought in the first half he was excellent.
Well, Akambi's going off as well. He looked a real threat in the opening 45 minutes too. Abubakar is coming on, and Nkodu as well. So we knew they had lots of options up top, and here they are exercising.
Yeah, and Abubakar he's got 8 goals, I think it was, in AFCON in 2021. So we know he's someone that can score goals, and they need that ability now. Cameroon.
He's got 33 in his his 92nd cap for Cameroon. And Bremo, left foot in, swings it towards the back post, immediately looking to try and find the substitutes. And Abubakar was the first target on that occasion. Left footed ball swung in though towards the edge of the penalty area for Bremo to try and pick up. Goes up the right side of the box, and he does have it here for Cameroon. Plenty of movement ahead of him. Fire is there, and he's just going to slip a ball towards Anguissa. Can't find him. Switzerland can clear up towards halfway, and the running being done this time, no surprise, by Halis Seferovic and Galatasaray, of course. And we've got 15 minutes remaining here. Real pedigree in this Swiss side, and also in these substitutions made by Rigobert Song, the Cameroon head coach. Switzerland have a throw, level with the edge of the penalty area on the far side there, right. And we've got 15 minutes remaining here on TalkSport 2, with Switzerland leading by a goal to nil.
So many substitutes now, it will affect the tempo of the game. It does change it when those players are coming on, they're just trying to find their feet in the game, and actually that will probably do Switzerland a little bit of a favour at this moment, just trying to halt the momentum of Cameroon, trying to get back into this game.
On the attack though, down this left hand side, Cameroon towards the byline, but again snuffed out. The danger goes. It was an attack being forced by Kevin Nkodu, of course formerly of Spurs. Lost out there to an advance being made on that right hand side by one of the other Swiss substitutes this time, Noah Okafor. I think we've also got potential smack in the face here for Sylvain Widmer. Not happy about it, that's for sure. The edge of his own penalty area. The referee will just have a look, make sure he's okay. It was a flailing arm from Nkodu, caught him in the face. The referee saw nothing at the time. It will be a free kick further up for Switzerland. So let's close this game out. 14 minutes remaining here, leading by a goal to nil against the Cameroon side, who've huffed and puffed and at times showed some real quality. They still had more attempts at goal and on target as well than Switzerland have managed, but they find themselves a goal behind.
Yeah, and I did say that in the first half about Cameroon, those chances that they didn't take, would that come back to haunt them? And as it stands, it has. I think now, just the last 5 or so minutes, it's slowed down. Cameroon don't look as expansive as they have been doing, and Switzerland definitely look the more comfortable of the two sides.
They do, and some of the face-painted fans with their mock World Cup trophies in their hands. Maybe a little bit early to start celebrating that, but they'll certainly take a victory on this opening round of fixtures again. They've not lost back-to-back World Cup matches since 1994, Switzerland, so having obviously been beaten last time out by Sweden, to get back to winning ways in the actual competition, important for them. their opening games, they do tend to sneak it, that's for sure. They've won 4 prior to this game today, and every single one of them has been by a single goal margin. Always keep it tight to start with. A good tournament side, Switzerland. Down this right-hand side, Cameroon looking to come again with the goalkeeper this time, Onana. The high cross-field ball, but easily headed away. And trying to gather possession was Nkodu by the corner flag, and he's worked really hard there, but he's lost out. There's 2 around him. Akanji will get it away for Switzerland towards the edge of his own penalty area. Fabian Fry was there, up towards halfway. That's better from Switzerland. Really nice football. Finds Granit Xhaka inside the centre circle. Xhaka just goes back inside his own half. And forward they come down this left-hand side, Switzerland. And there's a foul there, and it's going to be a free kick for Cameroon, about 10 yards outside their own penalty area.
You can see that where Switzerland are getting in now on the counter-attack, because Cameroon, they're high pressing. They weren't doing that in the first half and the majority of this second half, but because they're chasing, they're trying to win the ball high up. You see Onana, how high up he is up the pitch as well, trying to sort of direct from the back. You just can't help but feel that Switzerland, if they can get it right, they're going to catch Cameroon out.
On this right-hand side, Cameroon again looking to come forward, committing bodies as that's chipped over the top for the chase to be on here for Ruben Vargas down this left-hand touchline. It's really good defending actually in the end to deal with that by Okafor, who does brilliantly, and an opportunity to clear their lines again through Onana and try and drive Cameroon forward into these final 10 minutes, plus stoppage time of course, so there is still plenty of time for them to find an equalising goal in this game. I mentioned double the amounts on target compared to Switzerland so far in this game, but just not clinical enough, and nothing that's really troubled Sonner too greatly. He's made 1, maybe 2 good saves, but the rest have been fairly comfortable. Vargas, between 2 players, does brilliantly on halfway. Vargas then shifts the ball forward, but they lose possession again into the middle of the park, where it's smuggled away by Gouet. And on the left-hand side, the ball is at the feet this time of Nkodu, who lifts the ball down this right touchline, and a brilliant ball it is too. Collins Fry, left with the ball swung over, and no one's there in the 6-yard box trying to get on the end of it. It's a really good ball that time from Collins Fry. It was right into the danger zone, but nobody's there to try and meet it.
Fry, he's done ever so well. A couple of minutes earlier, he's defending very well in his box and then gets forward. It's, as you say, a wonderful cross, and at that moment in time, with 10 minutes left, every one of those Cameroon players has got to be getting forward, throwing everything at the ball.
Vargas, the latest player to leave the field of play. Fabian Rieder will come on to replace him. No debut yet for the 20-year-old, but Rieder is on. Not a bad place to get your first cap, really, is it, in the opening game of the World Cup? And another change as well for Cameroon. Brian Mbremo is going to be replaced by Nicolas Ngamelo from Dynamo Moscow. Again, in that search for goals, he got 1 in qualifying against the Ivory Coast, which is the desperate nature of Cameroon trying to get something from this game so they don't have a defeat at the start of this World Cup campaign. They have lost their last 7 World Cup games, so it's not a great run. The last victory in the tournament itself was against Saudi Arabia in 2002, and actually the record is Mexico, who went 9 games without victory. That was between 1930 and 1958, so they're almost catching Mexico up with that run right now, so they'll desperately want to try and get something out of this game. 8.5 minutes remaining. Switzerland leading up by a goal to 0 on TalkSport 2. There's Onana. This one's direct and drilled low and forward, but it's straight to his opposite number, Jan Sonner, away to our right-hand side. And Switzerland down the left-hand side with Rodriguez, who's not gone as forward as much in the second half, but that's a lovely slip ball for the substitute to get towards the byline across the 6-yard box, and then it's out for a corner. Really good sliding challenge that time by Nkolo, and it was the rival, as we mentioned, the man on debut, almost had the perfect debut, Fabian Rieder, his first cap, and he almost had a goal up inside the first minute.
Does fantastically well, doesn't he? Holds his run initially very well to make sure he's onside. It's a fantastic ball across from for Severovic, just can't get on the end of it.
Good defending once more by Nicholas and Kulu. Here is the corner down the left hand side for Switzerland, and it's delivered again by the substitute leader, and it appeals for handball there inside the penalty area, particularly that time coming from Elvede, and it's all very scrappy towards the edge of the Cameroon box as they try and get away. In the end, Anguissa gets the free kick, but they are demanding, and Zakanji, who's just been booked I think, and Elvede demanding that the handball gets looked at.
We'll get a better look at it here. I think it does touch an arm at some point, but now we talk about natural and unnatural position, don't we? I think that one would be very harsh, but I'm sure VAR will be taking a good look at it.
It's come off the arm of Abubakar, Vincent Abubakar. There's no doubt about that, but again, wasn't really paying much attention. It's certainly not a movement, but Akanji gets a yellow card for the process for his remonstration and complaints. And according to our monitor, is there a VAR check taking place? We do tend to get the advance warning on that, and nothing coming in on a little computer to say it is. So the referee very happy with his decision, and the VAR happy too. We've got 6.5 minutes remaining here. Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0. As we continue our wall-to-wall coverage across the TalkSport network of Qatar 2022. Uruguay against South Korea coming up at 1 o'clock today. Portugal against Ghana at 4. And Brazil against Serbia at 7. All three of those games live on TalkSport. And then a reminder tomorrow at this time, we'll be well into Wales against Iran in Group B, followed up by Qatar against Senegal and Netherlands against Ecuador. Both those games, by the way, will be on TalkSport 2 before we're back on TalkSport tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock for England against the USA. Into the final 5.5 minutes then, and you do feel this raft of substitutions has almost upset the rhythm for both teams, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I think, as I said earlier, I think that'll actually suit Switzerland because it's took all momentum out of the game, especially for Cameroon. Switzerland can afford to be slowed down, to slow the tempo by anything. That's exactly what they want, and now Cameroon has not long left for them to get into this game, and as you say, it really has halted their rhythm, and they've struggled to get forward since the substitutions.
More attacking options, but not necessarily providing the dividends or the structure that may be required. Fabian Frey just gets out wide to that right hand side, early ball in towards Fabian Rieder. Onana will gather at the edge of his penalty area. A much better start to the second half from Switzerland paid dividends. That goal from Mbolo 3 minutes into the second period. Other chances for them as well. They certainly put the foot on the gas a little more, but Cameroon just not come out with the same intensity they had in the opening 45 minutes.
No, and I think such an early goal as well, it affects your confidence. It was such a sucker punch for them, and although they tried to get back into the game, you can just see they've not gone forward with the same intensity or vigour that they did in the first half.
There's a foul there that referee's not happy about again, and it's Nicholas Gamelu who is penalised. One of the substitutes. We're in the final 5 minutes, plus time to be added on, of course, which it could be anything, but based on the substitutes alone, I think we're looking at 5 or 6 minutes here. There's not been any great injury in the game, actually, not too many stoppages, and not a lot of time wasting either, so a rarity. 5 or 6 minutes might just about become the new norm, who knows, as that's lifted forward towards the edge of the penalty area by Rieder, and Onana was being encouraged to come and gather it quite forcefully there by Tolo, and in the end he does, and it gives Cameroon a chance to see if they can try and find a way back into this game. And it's a long punted ball forward from deep inside their own half, but they've managed to gather it down this right hand side, and here's Collins Frey with a good cross towards the back post maybe, and it's again needed an intervention from Sylvain Vidma to put it behind and out of play, and it will be a throw for Cameroon level with the edge of the penalty area on that far touchline, and it's going to be taken by Tola. Just for a moment then I think Kudu thought he may just try and take it quickly, but instead it's given short to Ondua. This is Anguissa. Infield again to Kure, who right-footed will lift it inside the penalty area, but he's giving it to nobody, and it's just going to go out of play for what will be a goal kick to Switzerland away to our right-hand side. We've got 3 minutes left here on TalkSport 2. It's Switzerland 1, Cameroon.
Yeah, Switzerland will love seeing that ball. It was poor really to absolutely no one. They're quite happy to let that run out just to try and eat up a few more seconds and try and get out of this game with the 3 points to start their campaign.
It looks like they're going to at this moment in time, looking very comfortable. And for a really good start. It's a disappointing second half really from Cameroon. Here come the attacking intentions of Switzerland again via Granit Xhaka, who was lurking at the edge of the penalty area. Okafor tried to find him, but couldn't. And then it'll be cleared this time. Just midway inside his own half. Not too much messing around that time by Tolo. He's lost possession, and Switzerland have it. Xhaka has it. 25 yards out on his left foot. He forces the save. Low down to the left-hand side by Andre Onana again. Better effort this time from Xhaka than his first half one, but it's on target, but comfortably stopped.
Yeah, it just didn't quite have the power behind it that we expect from Granit Xhaka, or it needed to be Onana, but nonetheless he does well. He fashions a little bit of space. I like the way that he gets on the half turn, and then at least he's hit the target.
Well, I like the way Onana here has come out and is playing as the middle of the maybe three centre-backs there. He's literally just wandered past Nicholas and Kulu and just giving the ball.
Yeah, it's like watching old school sweeper keeper, isn't it?
Well, very much so. He's 35 yards out from goal. And they still have the ball in their own half here, Cameroon, as they try and come forward down this right-hand side. Castelletto has possession. He gives it wide on this near touchline. Charges on here by Bay into the penalty area, but can't quite find him. The ball in was trying to find the advancing Nkudu down that left-hand side. He's still out there hugging the touchline, is Nkudu, if they can work the ball out into that wide area. And trying to do the hard work was Vincent Aboubakar. Well, they've given it away in Switzerland. Well, just take their time and if they'll just hold the ball here, because we are into the final minute of normal time. And we'll find out shortly how much is going to be added here by our referee, Facundo Tello of Argentina. The 40-year-old has had a very quiet game by his standards, just a couple of yellow cards. And at this moment in time, he'll be thinking about how long exactly we're going to have left, and I think there's going to be another substitution potentially here, just to run the clock down a little bit more. And it's coming for Switzerland, and we're going to see Ricardo Rodriguez leave the field of play, and he's going to be replaced by Ere Comet, the Valencian centre-back, playing in his first World Cup. The change is made. It means there's a slight delay in terms of how many added minutes we will have, as we've played the 90. Switzerland leading by a goal to nil, using up more time with our substitutions, and it is going to be 6 minutes of added time at the end of this game. Down that right hand side, one of the players of the game for me, and it's Vidmer coming forward again. Been very impressive defensively and also offensively for Switzerland in this game today. Yeah,
couldn't agree more. Even in the first half when Switzerland were quite poor, he was the standout player, and that's what we expect from modern day fullbacks, isn't it, in terms of doing the defensive duties and also offering something going forward, and he's certainly done that today.
Scored a crucial goal in the World Cup qualifiers against Italy. It is his first World Cup tournament, of course. His first 8 caps actually were as a substitute as well. That's back in 2014. One of those who came through the ranks in Basel and is now off playing his football elsewhere. Very impressive. Sonnet gives it short to Elvedi. Akanji. Here's Granit Xhaka on halfway. That man again, Sylvain Vidmer, to that far touchline. And the Swiss know now we're in added time. It's just a matter of keeping the ball to see this one through. Reminder later this afternoon, Uruguay against South Korea from Group H. That's live from 1 o'clock on TalkSport. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, Portugal against Ghana. Also live on TalkSport. And then Brazil against Serbia. It's always a big moment, the introduction of Brazil to any World Cup tournament, regardless of whether they're favourites or not. But they're last up tonight. It's the moment we've been waiting for. To see some of those skillful individuals ply their trade. Well, kind of sums up the second half really for Cameroon. Nohu Tolo was quite comfortably able to clear that ball, but he's lost his footing, and in the end it's sent it out for a corner, when it would have been easier probably to put it out for a throw on that far side had he not slipped over in the process.
just slips at the last moment. It's unfortunate, and now, Switzerland will really take their time with this, more than likely. Send another player over, keep it in the corner, just try and get to this full-time whistle.
So we've heard cowbells. Actually, you can see people dressed with udders now as well, which maybe is a little extreme, but each to their own. You don't get to too many World Cups, as they say, although the Swiss have got a pretty decent record every 4 years in making their way to finals, but I'm not sure I could go out with some udders strapped to my belly. That's not really me.
No, I must admit, each one to their own, but it's not for me.
Down that right-hand side is Freuler, who's been busy in that midfield as well for Switzerland today. We're into the last 3 minutes of this game. They're leading Cameroon by 1-0, and happy to play keep ball and just run the time down at this moment. They've just given it away there, and chance for maybe Cameroon to launch what could be. I mean, will there be one more chance in this last 3 minutes? We tend to say that in league football, but you don't tend to always get a clear-cut opportunity at the international stage due to the quality of some of the players and their ability to shut games down. And Gisa just helping Cameroon through the midfield and just moving it across the back line to this right-hand side. And Kolo has given it once more to Castelletto. His long ball forward is well taken down that time by Kevin Nkudu, but again they're forced back to halfway. And Gisa, final 2 minutes and 30 seconds of time added on here. Ball held up well that time by Abubakar. Now maybe ball swung in and it's headed up in the air, and Sonner's going to have to try and gather it, and he does at the edge of the 6-yard box. It was Elvedi that got his head onto the ball that was delivered by Castelletto, and just for a moment you didn't know where it was going, but Sonner seemed in control of the situation, shall we say.
Yeah, he does really well, and that's what you want from your keeper. He's had next to nothing to do for most of the game, but still there, he's ready, anticipating where the ball's going to land on his front foot to take it comfortably for Switzerland.
In the final 2 minutes of added time, Switzerland have possession. It's a throw-in on that right-hand side. And again, faces delicately painted. Hands on heads from some of the Swiss supporters who are not too sure what they're anguished about. Yes, it's only 1-0, but comfortably holding on to possession and snuffing out any real opportunities here for Cameroon side. As we mentioned at half-time, still no goal from an African side in this competition. Chance to add a second here, maybe, on the left foot. Oh, the shot from Seferovic was blocked at the edge of the 6-yard box. Castelletto, he just feinted a couple of times before eventually taking the shot. I think he probably had the keeper beaten, but not Castelletto, and it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, he does so well initially, Seferovic. He takes the touch inside and then he's trying to reverse it back into the bottom right-hand corner. Might have been better served actually going across the keeper. It ends up being a fantastic block in the end. Yeah,
I'm not sure Onana was going to get there, but the defensive side of Castelletto, he literally just threw himself with that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Xhaka takes the corner short. Last 30 seconds of time added on then here. Out of play, and it'll be a goal kick for Cameroon. Not really enough time, surely, for them to launch one final attack in their opening game of Qatar 2022. And Onana clearly doesn't understand how long's left here. He's taking his time over this kick, eventually launches it forward towards the into the centre circle. Akanji's there. He calmly just runs to the far touchline and the ball goes out of play. It will be a throw-in on that far side for Switzerland as we've played the 6 minutes of added time from our referee Facundo Tello. And there the roar of these Swiss supporters, and it's a victory in the opening game of the campaign once more for Switzerland and for Murat Yakin's side. The goal coming 3 minutes into the second half. Briel Embolo was the man who finished it off, and probably a quiet first half, but one opportunity was all it took 3 minutes into that second period. A swept finish in from about 6 yards out, really missed. First time Cameroon had really been cut open in any way, shape or form, and despite 7 attempts, 4 of them on target for Cameroon, they forced a couple of good saves from Sommer in the first half, showed very little in the second period, and unfortunately for them this opening game of the World Cup ends in defeat. Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0 then, the final score in the Al Janoub Stadium in Al Wakra.